Welcome to DasGeek. There is exciting news, and then there is really exciting news, and this is definitely in the really exciting news category. I was just sitting there working on another video, happened to be about AMD, and I get a telegram from Michael talking about, from Tux Digital, one of our patrons in the Destination Linux telegram, talking about this new Steam for Linux situation going on. Basically, here's what we know so far in reading this. There is a new version of Steam Play. This new version of Steam Play is a collaboration between Codeweavers, Wine, and Steam to be able to play Windows games within Linux. And they are beta testing this right now. There are about 27 games listed here you can play. And one of those is one of my favorite games of all time that I really missed, which was Doom, the last Doom here. And they have Fallout Shelter, Final Fantasy, and a game I've really been wanting to play is this Nier Automata, which is supposed to be a fantastic RPG out there. So all of these awesome games now you can play. And how simple is it? Well, you just go to your Steam client beta. With Steam running, you go to Steam in the upper right-hand corner. You go to your settings here. On the account tab under beta participation, you just change this to Steam beta. You click OK. It's going to install a bunch of different things, and then it's going to restart Steam. I suggest then once it restarts, if you try to install one of these games, it's not going to let you right away. But you restart Steam one more time, and then I went into Doom here and I clicked install, and instead of giving me an error message, it started letting me install the game. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let this install finish, and then we are going to play Doom within Linux. This is so cool. Let's talk about this some more while we're waiting for this to install. So in 2010, they introduced Steam Play. More than 3,000 games out there on the Steam Play. Of course, this works fantastic in their own Linux distribution, SteamOS, which Valve has out there. 2 years ago, they wanted to improve the quality and performance of Windows compatibility for Steam games, so started supporting Wine. Looks like, as a result, they're releasing this beta, new improved Steam Play to all Linux users. It includes a modified distribution of Wine called Proton, to provide compatibility with Windows game titles. Windows games with no Linux version currently available can now be installed and run directly from the client, complete with native Steamworks and OpenVR support. Hello, DirectX 11 and 12 implementations are now based on Vulkan. Full screen has been improved game controller support, performance for multi-threaded games, and we get these 27 games here. And you can also download this and help them work on it from GitHub, basically build your own source project for this and help them out if you are talented enough to do so. But playing this is super simple. Opt into the Steam beta client, which I showed you. Make sure your drivers are fresh. You have the latest drivers, you're done. Install and play games, and that's exactly what I'm doing right here, is installing Doom and about to play it. How does it differ from Wine? Proton is a tool distribution based on modified version of Wine, includes improvements to Wine that have been designed and funded by Valve in a joint development effort with Codeweavers. Here are some examples of what they've been working on. What would we do without Valve and Steam? The Linux gaming thing is huge. People who aren't even into gaming need to realize that it's still important from a desktop adoption standpoint. Obviously, all the servers and everything run Linux. All your supercomputers run Linux. But from a desktop adoption standpoint, your average user, they want to use their computer and they want to game on it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Gaming is awesome. And you could do a ton of gaming within Linux right now, thanks to Valve and Steam. They really brought that to the forefront. But now with some of their additional work here, we've been hearing about them hiring more Linux developers. We see what they're doing. Of course, they have their own distribution. They're making it even easier, and that's going to bring more and more people to Linux, which I am super excited about. Now, this is in beta, so if you run into issues, expect that. Report them in the bugs, help out as you can, but this is very much in beta. I want to make that very clear. So now we're going to let Doom install. We're going to play some Doom, and that's really this video. That's all it's about. This is a hype video, just excitement, and a huge thank you to Codeweavers, to the folks who work on Wine, to Valve, to all of those brilliant, talented people working on this. This is huge for Linux. Absolutely huge. You know I can't contain my excitement for this. I have to play it right now. 2 videos in one day. That's what you get because this came out and I just freaked. I love this game. This is one of my favorite games. When I got the first time I got the NVIDIA 1080, of course now I'm on the Vega 64, but first time I got the NVIDIA 1080 is one of the first games that I played and just absolutely loved. It's so much fun. There's so many new game modes and things I've noticed that they've released that weren't available back when I played this. And now we can play it on Linux in Steam without having to do any crazy configurations. Just 3 simple steps. Make sure you have the latest drivers updated, by the way. Not the ones that just come with Ubuntu, but there is if you go onto that page, which I'll have linked below, there is a special driver package that you can install to make sure you have the latest Mesa drivers installed, and you'll be good to go if you're on AMD. If you're on NVIDIA, you need to make sure you install those proprietary drivers and have the latest ones, and you can play this. Absolutely amazing performance. Now keep in mind with the frames per second, 2 things. Number 1, I'm recording at the same time, so that's going to drop about 20 to 25 frames off of this right away. Number 2 is that this is not native to Linux. This game is running through the work that Valve and Codeweavers and those guys did to emulate Windows and the DirectX environment. So of course you're not going to get the same frames per second you would get on a native game that was ported, say, to Linux or meant for Linux directly, but still absolutely playable frames. Absolutely beautiful game. And I am so excited to play games like Nier Automata and all the other games they have on there. And they have a wish list that you can sign up for as well to ask for more games that you want to see on Linux. So if there's a game they haven't ported yet, maybe, you know, it's one of the latest, what is it? Ice Cuphead, that was it. Maybe it's Cuphead you want to see, or one of those other popular games we haven't had natively on Linux. Then you can go and request that from the developers, and maybe they'll make it happen. Heck of a release, by the way, for beta. 27 or so games out there right away that you can start playing. All of them fantastic games, it looked like to me. So they chose some pretty good ones, probably based on what they saw from the community that people would want to see and play. And of course Doom is going to be on there, and the fact that VR support is here as well. So if you want to play VR games that are normally not native to Linux, here is your chance. Look at Doom. You gotta love those kills. Just absolutely beautiful, amazing work these guys have done. I am so impressed and just had to share this with you guys today, right now. I'll let you enjoy the rest of this video here, this game, but my gosh, talk about filling your brains and filling it with fun. This is awesome. What a good day it is to be a Linux user. Fill your brains.
Don't get too smart. Does not watch the video.